Hey everyone, I'm Stefan. This is Graham.
Hey.
This is Travis.
Hello.
And we are three different ones. Last year we made a list of albums we think are interesting, and now we talk about them. Today, though, is a very special episode. It is part one of a two-parter we're doing, since we are talking about The Fragile, Nine Inch Nails' double album from about 22 years ago. This one's going to be a little different. In today's, normally at the end of each episode, we score the album overall and then say whether we'd recommend it and just give an overall look at it. For today's episode, we are not going to do that. We're going to hold off until the second part when we cover the second half of the album to the whole thing.
Sorry.
Some of our fans will not be pleased by this.
We've got a guest.
So I hadn't heard this album before. I'd heard of it. I'd heard the title song on it. But the only Nine Inch Nails album I'd listened to all the way through was the Downward Spiral.
Mm-hmm.
Travis, you've mentioned Nine Inch Nails on a couple previous episodes. Had you heard this album before?
Yes, I had.
Okay.
Honestly, this is probably my second favorite Nine Inch Nails album.
Okay.
And it is long. It's what, like 102 minutes, something like that.
About an hour 45.
It's pretty lengthy. Hold on, I'm sorry.
You're good. You're good.
Got a talkative dog here.
It's a crowded studio today.
Okay. Yes, very. Sharing some studio space. But no, I have listened to it a couple of times in its entirety just because it is quite long. But yeah, I go back to a lot of songs from it pretty regularly.
Nice.
It's contrasting the Downward Spiral, which is what you said you've listened to. I guess it's more of a kind of a follow-up to it, where it leaves off, this kind of picks up, and I don't know if it ever really resolves that, but I think that might be intentional on Trent's behalf.
Yeah.
But Graham, have you heard anything from this or heard this before?
Man, if I have, I don't remember.
Mm-hmm.
I've heard songs of theirs here and there. Like, you've shown me some, and I don't know, other friends that are into this band or artist. What do you call this? Because is it all Trent Reznor?
Up until this point, or up through this point, yeah. I think Atticus Ross joined on with Teeth, which would be the album that comes after this.
Yeah, so is he a drummer too, and does he play everything?
I think he does more like synth work, honestly. I don't know that he. Let me see.
Yeah, because I was curious if that's another. I just don't know how he makes albums.
Right. Yeah. No. I mean, I think he does a lot of synth stuff and programming. I mean, when they play live, Trent's always kind of had a band that he tours with, and those guys cycle through. Yeah. But I'm sure anytime they need like a live kit or something, they've got some session guys or maybe some of the guys that tour with them that'll step in.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I'm very, very new to the Nine Inch Nails thing. Like, I have a general sense of what they sound like.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I've definitely never sat down and listened to an entire record. So this was a first for me.
They're all pretty different, honestly.
Yeah.
It's like people that like Pretty Hate Machine tend to not really care for the new stuff too much. I mean, and like Broken that came after that, it's really industrial and heavy and loud and a lot of guitars and There's just many different sounds. I think Trent wrote this with the intention of not all of his fans liking it.
Yeah.
Kind of a
Respect.
departure. Yeah, a departure
Respect for that.
from previous stuff.
Yeah.
He's
Yeah. Thematically, there is some similarity to Downward Spiral because
right.
so many of these songs are about like depression and drug abuse, but musically, it's extremely different.
Oh yeah.
And, so I yeah. Again, I like that.
Yeah,
I
no,
like branching
absolutely.
out, man.
It's
New
I guess
directions.
it is kind of the successor to that.
Yeah.
It's like Downward Spiral just kind of builds in harshness to the end, and then this
Yeah.
picks up right there. I mean, the part one of this album it's pretty heavy stuff.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it is. From
Like you said,
somewhat damaged on.
yeah. Oh my
I could
gosh, yeah.
this was gonna be so different.
Yeah. I know
So
it's you gotta kind of be in the mood for it, or I could see it being pretty challenging to get through.
definitely.
I liked how this album started a lot.
Yeah.
It was
Yeah.
kind of surprising.
How so?
I just that very like minimalist acoustic riff that just kind of, I don't know, you just kind of have no idea what to expect.
Yeah, there's some weird sounds at the beginning of Somewhat Damaged. It's like, where's this thing gonna go?
Right,
Yeah.
right. I feel like it takes a kind of total, left turn.
Right. Yeah, it's like all starts just very minimal left channel. And is that a ukulele? That's kind of what it sounded like to me.
It did. It did. That's kind of what I thought too.
On the like far right channel,
Oh.
it sounded like a finger plucked ukulele.
Man, I don't know.
I love though how like that's going and there's kind of like an inherent rhythm to it, and then that odd timed drum beat comes in and you're like, ooh, I didn't expect it to roll like that.
Yeah, I love the drum sounds on this album.
Yes. Fully agreed.
Very like I don't know, and I was reading and it says, there's a drummer on one track, but then it just says like, programming, like drum programming.
Right.
Are these electric or like drum machine sounds that I'm hearing?
I think there's a couple of tracks on here that are an actual live kit, but I don't know that this one necessarily is.
Because it sounds very real, like like those big fat like tom sounds.
Oh yeah.
I like that a lot.
Awesome.
How do you like this track? Another interesting part that that I noticed in a couple other songs is kind of a weird like kind of reminds me of like Pink Floyd's Money.
Yeah.
Where you've got like those kind of cash register sounds.
Right. There's like a metal rubbing sample that, and you're right. It does come back on a couple of songs. I think he was real big on I know he was early 90s, but sampling, just recording tons of sounds and then just kind of looping them.
Right. And they sound great. I mean, it sounds like a real, whatever that is. Like,
right.
But yeah, I really like that.
Right. I love the layering because it's just a bunch of like sounds you would never think to put together. It's like very kind of fragile, not to be cliche, but like very soft and frail sounding, and then it's like it's contrasted with that heavy drum beat, and then you got the nasty metal sound, and then that kind of like wubbing synth that's just so heavy. And then his just grating voice.
Right.
Just like gargling nails. wheels. Just,
Yeah, he's got a very distinctive sound.
It's like insanely nasally vocal fry.
Yeah.
Is what it sounds like to me.
Yeah. I see what you mean with the nasally thing for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I guess we'll press on. We've got a dozen songs on side one.
Yep.
What'd y'all think about that as an opener?
I thought it was great. Very effective.
Yeah.
I was had right from the get-go.
It's very heavy, and I mean, it tees you up lyrically like, shit, this is going to be some dark stuff.
Hell of a hook, man. I thought it was great.
Which is funny to me because I was looking through a lot of like critiques on this, and many of them were like, they felt that the lyrics were just, I don't know, kind of bland.
Wow.
Which I know I've seen some interviews with Trent, and he was like, the most important thing to me in any song I write is the lyrics. So I thought that was kind of odd, but
yeah, I kind of like, I get not liking all the vocal parts, and even in Somewhat Damaged, but I definitely wouldn't think to criticize the lyrics for it.
Right. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I mean, I thought it was a great opener to the album.
Awesome.
But yeah, I didn't really even, notice the lyrics,
Yeah.
I feel like
yeah,
a lot of these songs, on a first listen, there's just so much going on sonically.
Right.
Yeah.
I can tell it's dark.
Yes.
I tried to make a point on this just because I've heard him say, like, man, the lyrics that's first and foremost for me. So I tried to read those like while I went through this album, and I'd not picked up on a lot of it, but it's stupid dark.
Yeah.
For pretty much the entire thing. But
it's dreary subject matter for sure.
It is. I like the way too it just rolls right into The Day the World Went Away.
Great follow-up.
Yeah, just smooth into it.
I really, really like this song.
You've got that just kind of quiet, dreamy, spacey sound, and then that just wall of like maximum distortion guitar.
So great.
It just slaps you.
The tone on that guitar is crazy.
It is. Yeah. it is. And like the piano layering over that. I love it. And then you've got that weird modulation that comes in the wah, 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 wah,
Yeah.
Yeah, I love it. I mean, it's such a simple song, but I love this song.
Same.
It was so awesome seeing this song performed live. Like, it was so loud, and then it was just like all the sound was stripped out.
Yeah.
Awesome dynamics, I think.
I thought this was a really strong track.
Mm-hmm.
Go
ahead.
I liked the opener, but it felt very much like an opener. Like this felt kind of like the first like song.
Right. This is one of the 3 singles from this album too.
Okay, that makes sense. That makes sense.
Right.
For sure.
It's got that real, quiet, loud dynamic that kind of goes throughout the album. Which I really like.
I love that little acoustic bit too that just kind of goes on and on and on and on until that just wall of distortion comes back in again.
Yeah.
That and then it just tapers off and then bam.
Yeah. Very very effective.
Yes.
Oh yeah. He's got a great sense of drama. Total sense that this guy would work on movie scores.
Yeah. I know Trent Reznor, I feel like his name is on everything these days.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's got his hands in a lot.
Like, it's an impressive and strange career.
It is like to see where he started.
Yeah, I mean,
and
was not Nine Inch Nails his first project or
yeah, I think.
Mm-hmm.
I know he like helped out in some bands leading up to that.
Mm-hmm.
Like I think I've showed you that Slam Bamboo thing, right? Where he was playing keys in the background and it's like just a straight up 80s band.
Yeah.
And he just looks so out of place.
Did you say Slam Bamboo?
Yeah, that's the group, Slam Bamboo.
That's a great name for a band.
Yeah, and like then boom, like a year after that, he's got Pretty Hate Machine in 1989, which is just like the antithesis to that 80s sound.
Mm.
But,
any similarity between that record and this one?
There's one song on here that we'll get into that I kind of got some Terrible Lie vibes from. But not really. I mean, it's kind of funny. Pretty Hate Machine, not a whole lot of the stuff that follows that sounds anything like that.
Yeah.
It's totally different.
And then, speaking of Reznor, just kind of, I don't know, he's kind of full of like surprises. Like, wasn't he like a trained piano player?
I know that that's like his main instrument.
Yeah.
And he played piano growing up. Yeah.
Okay, because like the next track, The Frail, it's just a little interlude, nice little piano piece.
I love The Frail.
Yeah.
I love this track.
Me too.
Nice.
It's such a smooth transition into it, and it's just such a beautiful, simple piano composition.
Yeah.
And I feel like it feels Frail. Like that's a great name for this track.
The names on these songs are all so perfect.
Right.
Yeah.
The whole album is just top notch naming by Reznor and Nine Inch Nails.
It's kind of funny too, like his piano playing. Like anytime I hear something that like maybe he's like produced or had some kind of hand in, you can tell. Like there's just kind of this signature thing that he does. I don't know really how to describe it, but you get a lot of that in this song.
It's very like from what I've heard, it's like very sparse.
Right. And it like dances around the root too. I've noticed like that's his key is to like come back down to it or like be a whole or a half step way, like walking up to it.
Yeah, but lots of tension and mood.
Yes, exactly.
I think of the Social Network.
Oh yeah,
that was one of the first movies I saw that he was involved in, and that had a lot of that. Like I don't know, like little 2-note piano things where it just kind of dances around, and I dig it a lot. I'm glad that this album had this kind of range where it goes from just balls to the wall, fuzzed out.
Yep.
And also like electronic craziness.
It's kind of the first ambient deal of his, I guess you could say.
Yeah. You're saying this song?
This album.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Because everything prior to it, in my opinion, is very industrial and like that, like you said, that kind of heavy fuzzed out, just like almost abrasive level of like distortion.
Yeah. Quite abrasive.
Yeah. And I mean, it's funny though, like he talks about it. He's like, yeah, it's intentional. It's to make you uncomfortable. Yeah. It's not supposed to be pleasant. Like, it's like, well, you do a great job at making me hate that sound.
Yeah. I mean, it works.
It walks you on. Yeah. It's doing what it's supposed to.
That is totally a mark of greatness that you can incorporate a sound doesn't sound good, but that is going to work for the song. I mean, I love that.
It's purposeful.
Yeah.
Yeah. And you get kind of that heavier synth build up towards the end of the Frail. Like you just know something heavy and ominous is coming.
We sure did
leading
that.
leading into the Wretched. Yeah.
Yep.
Such a sinister sounding piano line over
I
that.
know.
Yeah.
This is, I don't know. This is a strong. What is it? Track 4.
I believe so.
Yeah, track 4.
This one's strong. What do y'all think about this song?
It's very, 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 very dark.
Yeah.
I've seen this song cited by like a lot of celebrities. Like, oh yeah, growing up, you know, I remember the first time I heard the Wretched, and my parents were like, "Oh my gosh, what is this?" Like lyrically, I mean, it's just there's some wicked stuff in this.
Yep. That for the first time on the album, he incorporates that real piercing ring sound right after the first few verses, and the sound really starting to build, and it just cuts through all the layers of sound. It's really it's a difficult song to listen to, but I thought the chorus was phenomenal. I really enjoy the song overall. Right. It'll stay with you. I mean, you got to give it.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
This, yeah. So far, you know, I was surprised by how much I liked this.
Yeah.
This song or this album?
I would say the album.
Gotcha.
But, like,
I was gonna say this song's pretty intense.
It is, but I like it.
Yeah. There's one verse that to me is just like, oh my gosh, it's so evil. You know, he's like, now you know this is what it feels like. The clouds will part and the sky cracks open, and God himself will reach his fucking arm through just to push you down, just to hold you down. Stuck in this hole with the shit and piss, and it's hard to believe it could come down to this. Dude, so dark.
Yeah. It's
golly, man.
It's a sledgehammer of angst in this song.
And the thing I find so funny about all this is like everything I've ever read or heard about him, he had like great upbringing, you know.
Yeah.
This is just kind of like an alter ego, I guess.
He had like the John Cougar like upbringing kind of
right.
Small town Pennsylvania, like building like model planes, like super supportive parents. Like it was just the total you know, postcard America kind of thing.
Right. Maybe
sucking
just
on chili dogs.
Sucking on chili dog.
Indeed.
Is that where you were going?
No, I wasn't going to bring that
That's
up.
where I thought he was going.
I appreciate it all the same.
I just heard the John Cougar
right
upbringing.
I like the there's some cool guitar riffing too, like around a minute and a half out from the end. I really enjoyed that.
Yeah, the way it's toned during the bridge, which is super weird, very unorthodox. I love that guitar sound.
Mm-hmm.
Buzzed out.
Yes,
buzzed out.
A lot of distortion in the guitar parts.
Oh yeah.
Oh man.
Great track though. Great track.
Absolutely.
And it leads into single number 2.
Yes, the longest song on the album, I believe.
We're in this together.
Yep, and it doesn't. I don't think this song felt that long though.
Not at all.
I really
not at all
to
me.
I thought this. I mean, this was probably one of my favorite songs.
It is one of my favorites. It's a lot more accessible, I guess. It's it's more of a song.
Yeah,
definitely.
Sounds like a single for sure.
Yeah, exactly. Yes.
Although I'm guessing the single must have been cut down in length because you said this was one of 3 singles.
Yeah. This so you've got this The Day the World Went Away. Those are the 2 singles from part 1, and then part 2 Into the Void.
Okay.
That's a single too.
Yeah. Yeah, this one, it definitely sounds like the hit.
In this, Graham, you mentioned the asking about drums. This sounded like an actual kit, and what I thought was weird too, like just the sound of how the drums were recorded. It sounded to me like they were recorded in like a small room.
That could be true.
Like very removed from everything else that's going on musically.
Yeah, he seems like he was kind of into tricks like that.
Mm-hmm.
I kind of I don't know. I think about Radiohead sometimes when I'm listening to this stuff, like the more modern Radiohead, just kind of the pure like just experimentation with putting odd sounds together,
like Kid A.
Yeah,
kind of Radiohead. Dude, yeah, some of it definitely.
Little of that, or really just anything Kid A and after Kid A.
Yeah, I could see that.
I mean, there's a big difference like in genre,
right?
But I feel like he could probably have a conversation with those guys about like sound and production. They may have met. I don't know.
Right.
But anyway,
I love the words to this song too.
Yes.
I become impossible. The chorus. It's such a good chorus. It's just like so in your face, but it's like the first uplifting moment you've had so far on the album.
Yeah, it is very positive,
It's like I've been beat down to no end up until this point, and then it's like, boom, here's my counter to it.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah. It's nice.
Yeah.
Good addition.
Nice piano outro too.
Yes, love that part.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's great beat. It's real catchy. I'm with
you.
It
is. It is.
Phenomenal.
I know. I love this chorus.
Yeah. I don't know. It's got nothing more than that. I mean, it's really nothing but good things for me on this one.
Yep. Agreed.
Do you like it better than the title track?
Yes, I do.
Yeah, Fragile.
I'm a little lukewarm on this one.
This is my least favorite track up until this point.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. It might. Might be that for me too.
Graham,
damn.
You disagree?
You like it?
I like the Fragile. The song.
Yeah. Do you notice the? It almost sounds like chains or like glass being dragged, like a bag of glass. I don't know, shattered glass. Yeah, probably chains.
Or a sack of coins or something.
A sack of chili dogs.
It definitely doesn't sound like that.
Well,
a sack of dogs.
A sack of dog, brother.
This is my fault.
Yeah, no, I like the Fragile. I don't know. Everything that's come before it to me is so strong though. It's just been like knockouts. And then this, it's good. It just I don't like it as much as the rest.
Yeah.
Kind of some weird sampling mid song too.
Yeah, there is.
Oh yeah. I'm trying to remember what the sampling was on this track. It's like a little like sliding sound, like a I don't know. I liked this one. I'm trying to think of what my favorite so far is though. It might be the previous track, or even the Frail.
The Frail is such a sleeper track to me. Like,
it is.
It's short. It's an instrumental, but dude, it's just so good.
Yeah, it is.
And then
go ahead.
The other instrumental that I love is the one after the Fragile.
Me too. I was just about to say I love this song.
This one's killer.
Yeah, it is.
Just spacey, reverby, piano comes in, Got that heavy drum and bass.
Dude, I love how the drums come in.
I do too. I really like there's like some crazy chromatic piano runs too. Just like,
yes.
I really enjoyed that.
I know. I was like, is that him? Is that Trent Reznor?
Yeah.
Jeez.
Yes.
No, and it's just like they're just there. They're like not in key or anything. It's just, but it works. I mean, it's really uncomfortable. It's intense.
Oh yeah,
in a good way. Yeah, no, I feel like very seldom do I prefer instrumental tracks to tracks with vocals, but on this album, a lot of these instrumentals are just killer.
Yeah. He's a good composer.
Yep, absolutely. Stefan, do you have anything on that one?
Is there the use of like a vocal chant going on in Just Like You Imagined? There's this part where it didn't sound like singing at first because it was this real quiet like hum, which is used in a lot of these songs. And then when it starts to swell, it sounded like a group of people singing, and I couldn't.
Kind of like a chorus chant deal.
Yes. And I loved that effect, and I was like, I mean, if you told me that isn't people, that was like I don't know, they just they gimmicked up a sound to put into the song. I mean, I'd believe you, but I loved that crescendo. It was so cool.
I know what you're talking about. I was just playing it here just a second ago, and it sounds like they're kind of like humming in unison.
Yes.
Like there's a chord. Yeah,
yes.
I really like that.
Oh,
I don't know.
God.
Maybe it's
Gave me pills.
Maybe it is. Maybe it
so
isn't.
Cool. So cool.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And yeah. That's really I like the song a lot.
What'd y'all think of Even Deeper?
Didn't like it at the beginning and love it by the end.
That's funny. That's exactly how I felt on this.
Really?
Yeah,
Okay.
it's like it started out like there's that kind of deep openness sound to it, super deep kick, and I was like, whatever. And then by the time it was over, I was like, okay, this is a decent track.
Yeah, it shifts into this a much more soothing beat, and then he brings in that real dry guitar sound, and what sounds like a string section. It was so surprising, and I absolutely I'm totally along for the ride at that point, and I don't know what possessed him to have this like. I mean, it almost sounded like two different songs, just kind of like mashed into the same track, but it worked for me. I really enjoyed it.
I agree. I really like the way it wraps up, like the last 2 minutes or so.
Yeah.
Really good.
Yeah.
I think the drum beat was the highlight for me.
Yeah. Yeah.
Real and yeah, I still can't figure out, but it seems like it's a drum machine, but it sounds very sounds like a real natural kit.
Full natty.
Yeah.
But yeah, this was a strong one too.
Yeah. Instrumental wise. Oh, go ahead.
I feel like it didn't like really stand out from earlier tracks. Like maybe at this point, stuff's kind of blending together.
Yeah, I could see that definitely.
Yeah, it was a great send off, but Pilgrimage was kind of a slap in the face after Even Deeper.
This was the first instrumental I didn't like.
Oh, you didn't like it?
I just don't love this one. No.
Do tell.
I don't know. Go ahead, Graham.
It's kind of messy.
Yeah, it is. It is very messy.
Yeah. At least in the first half. It has a total like surprise towards the end though.
That like lo-fi sampled chant sound.
Yeah. And like a I don't know, like a marching band or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, total, like it's like I don't know, like a college football marching band.
Maybe that's exactly what it was.
This was a very unusual cover of an REM song. No, I wish.
Yeah. I wonder what. Dude, I bet Trent liked REM.
Oh yeah,
I'm sure.
yeah.
I would think, yeah.
Do y'all have anything else on Pilgrimage?
I kind of like the fact that it is a difficult song to listen to.
Yeah.
I mean, given the name, I think that's appropriate.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it might have grated on me a little bit by the end. The fact that it starts with the sound of what sounds like a very shrill alarm clock going off. That wasn't. I thought that was a little bit on the nose, but I thought it was.
Right.
I thought it was okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm good to move on though to No You Don't if y'all are.
Sure.
Heavy riffage.
Yeah, like almost like a standard rock song, guitar wise. Very, very surprising.
Yeah.
I wasn't crazy about this one.
Yeah, this was the first time where you hear the. It sounds like a sample of like a car screeching to a halt. They have this real shrill like sound that sounds like rubber burning on asphalt. I mean, it's a it's a cool sample once, but it's not
right.
Yeah, that might. I think they got a little carried away with the sampling in the middle of this.
Yeah.
That might be why I didn't care for this one that much.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Very angry.
Yes.
And how we were talking earlier about just some of those like just gain distorted out to where it's just like just an onslaught of unpleasant sound.
Yeah.
The close out of this song is like,
oh my god,
dude.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Like you can't even hear anything. Like there's so much noise.
I love how it's followed up though. Like,
yeah,
what a great contrast. Like, God, just please end. And then it's like, yes.
La Mer.
Yeah,
yes.
go ahead.
Yeah.
I keep interrupting.
No, you're good.
This, I feel like, is where I really hear like the Radiohead.
Mm-hmm.
Or you could at least make that comparison. I love this. This felt like a totally different, almost like a different artist.
Right.
And not to say like I haven't enjoyed the other stuff, but this just kind of comes out of nowhere. Just kind of a little, I don't know, very like airy and
smooth.
It is. It's such a great track.
It is so enjoyable. I kind of wish this had been the last song on,
I know.
on side A. I think this would have been a perfect way to end the first dozen songs on the Fragile. I loved every second of La Mer.
Mm-hmm. And I love the build too. It's just constantly building, and then the drums and bass roll in, and it's like, oh man, this is just so good.
Yeah, it is. I even like the. Is that a woman laughing we hear near the end?
I don't remember.
Could have sworn we heard someone laughing near the end of the song.
I'm listening back.
I am too.
Yeah, it's right. It's right when the piano takes over near the end, but before that little string sound comes back to play.
Is it John Cougar?
Did you say is it John Cougar?
Mm-hmm.
I don't think so.
It's a cameo.
I could see John Cougar hating Nine Inch Nails.
Oh, he probably doesn't know what it is.
Touche. Yes. Oh my gosh.
Even better chance of that.
That's awesome.
Oh, JC. Okay.
What'd y'all think of the actual closeout to part one, The Great Below?
Dramatic.
Really?
Yeah.
I kind of expected it to be crazier, honestly. Yeah, I thought it. I thought it was fairly. Maybe I was just my expectations were just wrong, but I was definitely expecting something wilder to finish off the first side.
It is very relaxing.
Yeah.
Sounds bouncing all around. You've got those high falsetto harmonies. I really enjoy this track, honestly. Music's great. Love the drums that kind of roll in and out. I like this song a lot.
I like it too. It's definitely not like crazy, but
not at all.
I don't know. There is a lot of like tension to me.
Yes, like you said, dramatic.
Yeah,
absolutely.
That's fair. You're right.
But, you're right. Yeah, like cinematic almost.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Kind of swirling strings.
Yeah, little.
Do you like that whisper singing we get in this one?
Yeah, that was interesting.
Yeah, it was.
Kind of like some Eastern sounds too.
Yeah. Good descriptor.
Some worldly sounding music.
Yeah, I kind of got that vibe from some of the drum beats on this album too.
Yeah, definitely.
I like this as a closer.
Yeah.
Even though maybe the one before it would have been a cooler one.
Yeah.
Lemur.
Lemur. Oh man.
Lemur.
Well, hey, that's all of part one.
It is. Yeah. If you're still with us, thank you so much. We'll be back with part two very soon, along with our overall scores for the entire album and our final thoughts. So come back to see us. We are Three Different Ones, and we'll see you next time. Hello?